Hey there, fellow coin hunters and pocket change warriors. Let me ask you something. Have you ever casually reached into your jeans, pulled out a handful of pennies, and thought, just a bunch of change? Well, hang on to your seat because one of those boring old pennies could be worth more than a Lamborghini. I'm talking about the 2018 D. Lincoln penny that's making headlines for being valued at a jaw-dropping $1 million. That's right. A little copper-colored coin from 2018 with a Denver Mint mark that could literally make you a millionaire. And no, this isn't a prank or some clickbait fairy tale. This is real, and today we're diving into exactly why this coin is worth such a massive fortune, how you can identify one, and what to do if you think you've got a goldmine hiding in your couch cushions, and I've got a wild personal story to go along with it. Because yes, I too once laughed at pennies until a coin changed my life. So grab your magnifying glass, put on your lucky coin hunting hat, and let's get rolling. Let's break this down, my fellow numismatic adventurers. It's a modern 1-cent coin featuring our guy Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Union Shield on the back. It was minted in Denver in, you guessed it, 2018. Now, under normal circumstances, this coin is worth 1 cent. That's it. Not even enough to buy a paperclip, but in the wild world of coin collecting, errors and rarity equal big money, and that's where things get spicy. So here's the twist: most 2018 D pennies are just standard copper-plated zinc coins. But a handful, and I mean a teeny tiny handful, were struck with insane minting errors. We're talking doubled dies, off-center strikes, and even wrong planchet errors. That's when the penny is struck on the wrong metal, like a dime or nickel planchet. Now imagine this. You're looking at a penny and it's got a slightly off-center image. Lincoln's face looks like it had a few too many drinks and the lettering is doubled. That's not a manufacturing hiccup, that's a payday, baby. A clean double die, nearly flawless strike, pristine condition, and of course, that beautiful little D mint mark. The condition was graded MS69 by a top grading service, which is like the superhero level of coin condition. That penny sold at auction for $1 million, yeah. A coin you can find in pocket change. $1 million. How do you know if you've got one? Alright, you're probably wondering, how the heck do I find one? Start by checking your change, especially if you're in the western half of the United States where Denver minted coins are more common. If your coin looks promising, it's time to call in the big guns, coin grading services. Don't sell it to your cousin's friend who knows coins. Send it to a professional like PCGS or NGC for grading. If they say it's mint state and confirm an error, you could be booking that Caribbean cruise in no time. Let me take you back to a few years ago. I was at a flea market, not even looking for coins. I was hunting for a vintage lava lamp. Don't ask. Anyway, I bought a soda from a little stand and the guy gave me some change. I noticed a super shiny penny and pocketed it without thinking. Weeks later, I was doing laundry and that same penny dropped out of my jeans. I almost threw it in the coin jar, but something about it looked weird. Lincoln's face looked like he was in 3D. I pulled out my magnifier, yep, I'm that guy, and sure enough, the date and the word Liberty had doubling. Not huge, but enough to raise an eyebrow. I sent it in for grading and guess what? It came back MS65 with a recognized double die. It didn't sell for $1 million, but I got $12,000 for that little soda stand penny. And yes, I used some of that money to buy the lava lamp. The 2018 D penny is just one example of how coins you see every day might be hiding incredible value. Most folks overlook modern coins because they think only old silver stuff is valuable. That couldn't be more wrong. Modern era coins, especially in mint condition, are becoming huge in the collector's world. Fewer people are keeping pocket change, and as the mint presses millions of coins, a small handful slip through with juicy errors. That's where the magic happens, and because this 2018 D. Lincoln penny reached such a legendary sale price, it sparked a lot more interest in error coins from the 2000s to today. How many pennies are lying around in your house right now? 10? 20? A couple hundred jammed in your couch, maybe? Each one might be holding on to a secret. And who knows? Maybe you'll be the next person to find $1 million penny sitting on the kitchen counter next to your leftover pizza slice. Don't miss your chance. Check your coins. Get a magnifier. Learn what to look for. Because this hobby isn't just about collecting, it's about treasure hunting in plain sight. If you found this video helpful or even just entertaining, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I've got more tips, coin values, strategies, and downright crazy stories coming your way that could turn your loose change into cold hard cash, and who knows, maybe one day you'll leave a comment saying, I found one. Hey folks, quick question for you. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? I mean really looked at it. Not just tossed it in the junk drawer or left it rattling around in your car's cup holder under some mystery French fry. Well, you might want to go digging through those couch cushions and old coin jars because believe it or not, there's a 2011 D. Abraham Lincoln penny floating around out there that's worth a mind-blowing $1.1 million. Yep, you heard me right. One little brown coin from your pocket change could make you a millionaire. Now before you sprint to your sock drawer, hold on. In today's video, we're going to dig into why this unassuming 2011 D penny is so valuable, how to tell if you've got the rare one, what makes it different from the rest, and why collectors are practically foaming at the mouth for it. Plus, I'll share a personal story about how I almost threw away a coin worth thousands. Spoiler alert, it still haunts me. So grab a drink, get comfy, and let's have some fun talking about how one humble little Lincoln cent could be the golden ticket you didn't know you had. Well, the D stands for Denver, where it was minted. Now in general, billions, yes, billions with a B of pennies are made each year. Most are totally ordinary and worth, well, 1 cent. But every now and then something weird happens at the mint. It could be an error, a rare strike, or a special metal composition that slips through quality control. And when collectors catch wind of it, suddenly that 1 cent coin is worth a whole lot more. This particular coin became famous because of a super rare error. We're talking about a coin with a flawless double die on the obverse. That means the front of the coin, with Lincoln's face, has doubling in the text or in the design elements like the date or the word liberty. This kind of error doesn't happen often, and when it does, it usually gets caught early. But a few slipped out in 2011 and collectors went bananas, and here's the kicker. One of these coins, in pristine, uncirculated condition, sold for a whopping $1.1 million at auction. That's not monopoly money. That's pay off your mortgage and buy a boat money. Or if you're like me, that's buy a boat, realize you don't like boats, and then sell it to buy more coins money. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. This wasn't some ancient coin buried in a Viking tomb. This was a modern penny. You could literally have one right now in your change jar and not even know it. That's what makes this hobby so dang exciting. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple years back, I was cleaning out the kitchen junk drawer, you know, the one with old batteries, expired coupons, 17 rubber bands, and like 4 random pennies. I'm tossing stuff left and right when I see this older looking penny. I flip it around, squint at it, and think, hey, it's probably nothing. So I chuck it into the tip jar we keep near the door. A few weeks later, I get curious and decide to actually research it. Turns out that old penny was a 1983 double die reverse. Value? At least $15,000 if it was in decent shape. I nearly flipped the table. I raced back to the jar like a madman, but of course it was gone. Used it to tip the pizza guy. You're welcome, Steve from Domino's. Lesson learned. Every coin matters. Especially the ones that look normal. Back to the 2011 D. Lincoln penny. Here's how to check if yours is the $1 million version. First, look at the coin under a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. What you're searching for is doubling clear, obvious doubling in the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date itself. If you see what looks like a blurry shadow or doubled edges, you might have a double die. Second, check the coin's condition. Coins in mint state, meaning they've never been circulated, are worth more. That means no scratches, no fingerprints, and no signs it's been through 100 vending machines. Third, look at the color. A shiny red-toned copper coin is preferred. If it looks dull or brown, it's been around the block. But hey, even a worn version of this error could still be worth thousands. Grab a $10 USB microscope. Plug it into your laptop and start checking coins. You'd be amazed what you can find. Plus, it makes you feel like a tiny Indiana Jones. Well, it's all about supply and demand. There are very few of these known to exist. And when collectors get into bidding wars over rare coins, the prices go sky high. Also, error coins are hot in the market right now. People love the idea of owning something that wasn't supposed to exist. It's like having a coin with a built-in mystery. Don't go quitting your job to search for pennies. But if you're already collecting coins or just want to make some extra cash on the side, it pays literally to check your change. Alright folks, here's the takeaway. That 2011 penny sitting quietly in your car ashtray or buried in your junk drawer could be your ticket to $1 million. All you have to do is take a few minutes to really look. Use a magnifying glass. Know what to look for. And don't assume every penny is just pocket lint with a president on it. Coin collecting is a little bit treasure hunt, a little bit detective work, and a whole lot of fun. You don't need to be rich to get into it, but with a little knowledge and some good luck, you could end up rich from it. Go grab that coffee can full of coins from the garage, sit down at your kitchen table, and start checking those pennies. And if you find something crazy, come back here and tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your story, and hey, if you enjoyed hanging out with me today, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more videos coming your way with coin tips, crazy values, and collecting strategies to help you spot the winners from the wannabes. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next $1 million coin that's probably hiding in your pocket right now. Thanks for watching, happy hunting, and remember, sometimes the smallest things in life are worth the most. Hey there, folks. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, just 1 cent? Well, don't toss it just yet, because that little copper coin might just be your ticket to becoming a millionaire. I'm not kidding. There's one particular penny that could make you the star of your neighborhood barbecue or the new family favorite at the next reunion, the 1984 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and it's worth $1.2 million. Now, before we dive into the juicy details, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my junk drawer, the one every home has. Rubber bands, batteries that may or may not work, keys from places I don't even remember, and of course, loose change. I found this beat-up penny, looked at it, and almost threw it away. But something told me to hold onto it. I mean, it had no mint mark. I didn't know what that meant at the time, but I figured, why not look it up? Turns out it wasn't worth millions, but that penny opened the door to this crazy, coin-collecting world. Now I'm here, talking to you fine people about a penny that is worth a fortune and might be sitting in your pocket right now. So sit tight, grab a drink, and let's dig into why the 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a game-changer and how to spot one. Alright, let's break this down. First, we've got to understand what makes this coin so special. In 1984, the United States Mint produced a lot of pennies. Millions of them. Most were struck in Philadelphia and Denver. Now here's the thing, Philadelphia coins often have no mint mark. That's not uncommon. But this specific no mint mark penny isn't valuable just because of the missing letter. That's only part of the story. This coin is special because of a famous doubling error. That's right, it's one of the most well-known double die coins. Imagine you're making cookies and you use a cookie cutter. Now imagine you wiggle the cutter just a bit while pressing down. You get a wonky, slightly double-shaped cookie, right? That's what happens during a double die error, except it's a coin being struck by a die that shifted ever so slightly. In the case of the 1984 penny, the doubling is most visible on Abraham Lincoln's ear. Yep, his ear. Coin folks call it the extra ear penny. You'll notice it if you look closely at the front of the coin. Honest Abe looks like he's got a second ear growing out of his neck. It's kind of wild. And collectors go crazy for this stuff. Now, most of these double-die 1984 pennies won't go for 7 figures. But the one we're talking about today is a special case. This particular penny was not only in mint condition, what collectors call MS68 red, which means it's as fresh as a new car smell, but it also had a clear, strong doubling that made it one of the finest examples ever found. It's basically the Michael Jordan of pennies. Coin grading experts saw it and nearly fainted. The auction house that sold it set the value at $1.2 million, and it's been the talk of the coin world ever since. Grab your pennies. A magnifying glass helps, but you can squint like I do if you want a challenge. Flip over any 1984 penny with no mint mark. Look at Lincoln's ear. If it looks like he's halfway to growing a second one, bingo, you might have something special. Even if it's not worth $1 million, some examples in decent condition sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. So yes, your coffee money could turn into vacation money. Let's take a quick detour. A lot of folks think that if a coin doesn't have a mint mark, it's automatically rare. That's not always true, but certain years and certain types of errors, especially when combined with high-quality strikes and oddities like the double die, can make a no-mint mark coin incredibly valuable. Let's talk market value. Coin values change like gas prices. But in the last 10 years, rare era coins have skyrocketed. Millennials and Gen Z are hopping into the hobby. Baby boomers are passing down collections. And auctions are hotter than a July barbecue. Right now, era coins are some of the most wanted collectibles. The 1984 double-die penny is on top of the list, and serious collectors are hunting high and low. This makes it the perfect time to look through your change and see what you've got. If you're liking this, wait till you hear about other valuable pennies. The 1983 double-die reverse. The 1992 close AM. The 1969 S double-die obverse. And don't even get me started on the 1909 SVB. But we'll save those for another video. Let me tell you, once you find one valuable coin, the hunt becomes addictive. My wife now checks the change before she lets me near it. It's become a race. Use coin rolls from the bank. One visit can give you a treasure hunt worth weeks of fun, and remember, condition is everything. Keep those coins safe and clean, but don't scrub them. You wouldn't polish the Mona Lisa, right? Okay, real quick. I once found a 1995 double-die penny. I got so excited I posted it on social media before verifying it. Turns out it was just a scratch. And oh boy, the comments. Let's just say the internet is brutal. Lesson learned: always double-check. Then triple-check. Think about it. That little coin in your couch cushions could be worth more than your car. Maybe even your house. All it takes is a keen eye and a little luck, and hey, even if you don't find the $1984 million penny, you're still gaining knowledge. You're part of a community. And you're not throwing away history anymore, you're holding it in your hand. Alright, friends, we've been through quite the penny journey today. From Lincoln's double ear to the $1.2 million price tag, this little coin has some big stories behind it. So here's your mission. Go check your change jar. Look through those old coffee cans, those forgotten drawers, those coin jars collecting dust. You never know what treasure you might find. Let me know. Drop it in the comments or send a picture. I'd love to see it. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Tap the bell so you never miss a chance to learn about coins that could change your life. I've got more tips, strategies, and coin stories coming your way, from modern mint errors to hidden gems from the past. Remember, one man's penny is another man's payday. Keep hunting, keep collecting, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey coin hunters and curious folks, let me ask you something right out of the gate. When was the last time you really looked at your pennies? I mean, really squinted at them like you were trying to find buried treasure? Because believe it or not, that dirty little copper coin sitting in your couch cushion right now could be worth a whopping $1.3 million. Yep. You heard that right. A single 2005 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, worth over $1 million. That's not a typo, and no, I didn't just dream this up after watching an episode of Antique Roadshow and drinking too much coffee. So stick around, because today we're diving deep into the mystery, the rarity, and the shocking value behind the 2005 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Plus, I've got a personal story that proves you never know what treasures you're sitting on, literally. Alright. Before we start tearing apart couch cushions and flipping coin jars upside down, let's get to the meat of this million-dollar meal. What makes the 2005 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so special? In the world of coin collecting, that tiny little mint mark means a lot. It tells you where the coin was produced. Normally, pennies from Philadelphia come with no mint mark. That's pretty standard. But here's the catch: while no mint mark on a penny is usually nothing to write home about, there are exceptions. And the 2005 no-mint mark penny is one big, expensive exception. This particular penny isn't just missing a mint mark, it's got a rare error that turns it into a coin collector's holy grail. Picture this. A normal penny from 2005 is worth, well, a penny. Maybe two if you're feeling generous. But a rare version of the 2005 penny with misaligned dies, doubling in the image or text, or an off-metal strike, that's the jackpot. And one specific penny checked every box and more. It sold at auction for $1.3 million because of its pristine condition, extreme rarity, and unique error that caught the eye of collectors around the world. Now let me hit you with some nerdy details that make coin lovers drool. This 2005 no-mint mark beauty had strong doubling on Lincoln's eye and jaw, razor-sharp details despite the age, and a luster so shiny you'd think it was fresh from the mint's vending machine. Combine that with being a known era coin, and boom, you got yourself a copper superstar. Now here's where it gets even crazier. I once thought coin collecting was just something retired uncles did between fishing trips and naps. But then, true story, I was digging through my junk drawer looking for some super glue and I came across a Ziploc bag of random change. Bored out of my mind during a rainy afternoon, I figured I'd play treasure hunter. I kid you not, in that pile I found a 1972 penny with visible doubling on the date. I didn't know squat about coins at the time, but I googled it and found out it was worth a couple $100. That was the spark, my friend. The moment I realized coins weren't just pocket fillers, they were potential gold mines, and that's what makes this hobby so fun. You don't need a fancy metal detector, a museum-level magnifying glass, or even a huge investment to get started. You just need a handful of coins and a little curiosity. Check if it's a 2005 Lincoln penny with no visible mint mark. Again, most from Philly have no mark, so that's not weird on its own. But what makes it valuable is the error, a check for doubling on Lincoln's eye, mouth, and especially the word liberty. Some rare ones are slightly off-center or have what we call die rotation errors. Basically, things look a little twisted, like the coin maker sneezed mid-strike. A well-preserved penny with a full red copper tone and no scratches or dirt could be worth a fortune, especially if it hasn't been circulated much. These are called mint state coins. If yours looks like it just got minted yesterday, get that baby graded. Get a second opinion. Don't just rely on Uncle Joe squinting at it through his fishing glasses. Use online coin communities or send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you if you've got the next million-dollar marvel. Well, collectors go nuts for rare errors, especially ones that are hard to replicate or only exist in limited numbers. It's like owning a piece of American history, but better because it fits in your pocket and makes you rich. Let's also not forget, coin collectors are passionate. Some of them have deep pockets and even deeper obsessions. To them, this isn't just metal, it's legacy. It's art. It's history, and hey, if it means you could turn a 1-cent coin into a $1.3 million payday, I say it's worth checking every penny that comes your way. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, now you know the truth. That plain-looking penny from 2005 could be hiding a life-changing secret. The kind of secret that pays off your mortgage, buys you a new truck, and still leaves enough for a few rounds at your favorite diner. Check your change. Look in your car's cup holder, your kitchen drawer, your pants pockets from 5 years ago. You never know where that million-dollar copper beauty is hiding, and if you found this video helpful, fun, or you just like the idea of turning spare change into cold, hard cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got more coin tips, crazy values, and collecting strategies coming your way that'll have you looking at pennies like they're golden tickets. Hey there, treasure hunters and pocket change warriors. Before you toss that penny aside or shove it into the bottom of your junk drawer, you might want to hear this. Imagine finding a coin in your spare change that could buy you a mansion, a sports car, and still leave enough for a hot tub in every room. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, buckle up because today we're diving into a penny. Yeah, you heard me right. Not gold, not silver, not a rare diamond. A copper-colored penny. And not just any penny, the 2003 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This little guy has made waves in the coin world, and get this, it's currently valued at a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. That's not a typo, folks. So grab a cup of coffee, check the couch cushions, and hang tight because we're about to take a deep dive into how this unassuming little coin turned into a millionaire maker. I'm gonna tell you how to spot one, why it's so valuable, what to look for, and stick around for a personal story about the time I almost spent a rare coin on a vending machine candy bar. Yep, that happened. Back in 2003, the United States Mint was churning out Lincoln cents like there was no tomorrow. Billions were made. Most had a little mint mark, either AD for Denver or AP for Philadelphia. But once in a blue moon, one sneaky penny slipped out with no mint mark at all. Now, this wouldn't normally make headlines. Sometimes mint marks fade or get weakly struck. But here's the kicker, this particular 2003 penny has no mint mark and a couple of other quirks that make it a standout. The composition, the finish, and the strike quality all show signs that this wasn't just a mistake, it was a mysterious masterpiece that somehow got into circulation. Only a handful are known to exist. And collectors are losing their minds trying to find them. Let's talk cash. Cold hard cash. The 2003 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has been appraised and confirmed by top grading services, and it's pulling in a market value of around $1.4 million. I don't know about you, but that's more than my car, my house, and possibly my neighbor's house combined. It might be hiding in plain sight. That's the kind of coin that can show up in a kid's piggy bank or your mom's old purse from 2004. Collectors value this penny not only because it's rare but because it represents a perfect storm of minting mystery. It's like Bigfoot of the coin world. You know it's out there, but finding it? That's the adventure. Okay, so you're probably eyeing the jar of change on your kitchen counter right now. Here's how to spot the big one. Start with the date. Look for a 2003 Lincoln penny. Flip it over, check the mint mark area, which is right under the date. If there's no mark, don't get too excited yet. There are lots of worn-down coins with faded marks. You need to inspect it closely. Get a magnifying glass, or even better, one of those little jeweler's loupes that make you look like you're about to discover hidden treasure. Because, well, you might be. Here are a few signs that your penny might be the million-dollar marvel. No mint mark at all, and I mean clean, smooth, not worn down. If you've got one that checks all those boxes, it's time to send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm whether it's the real deal. And if it is? Oh boy, you just hit the penny jackpot. Years ago, I was working late at this tiny office job. You know, the kind of job where the highlight of the day is hitting the vending machine around 3 p.m. I was craving a candy bar like my life depended on it. I reached into my pocket, pulled out some change, and among the quarters and dimes, there was this shiny penny that looked weird. Something about it caught my eye. It had a strange shine, and I remember thinking, this looks a little different. But my hunger was louder than my curiosity. I tossed it into the machine, got my Snickers, and that was that. Fast forward a few years, I'm scrolling online and come across an article about rare pennies. And wouldn't you know it, one of the examples looked exactly like the one I used to feed the vending monster. Now, I'm not saying I spent $1 million coin on nougat, but I'm also not saying I didn't. Moral of the story? Always check your change before you feed the snack beast. Alright, so maybe you're thinking, how do I even get started in this coin collecting madness? Weird errors and mint mistakes are common in this range. D for Denver, P for Philly, S for San Francisco. Double strikes, odd lettering, strange coloring, missing elements. Also, join a few coin forums. You'd be surprised how helpful and nerdy those communities are. They love sharing tips, photos, and finds. Coins are sneaky little things. That $1 million penny could be sitting in a tip jar at your local diner. You came here wondering how a little copper penny could possibly be worth $1.4 million, and now you know. It's rare, it's mysterious, and it's probably hiding in plain sight. So next time you get change back at the gas station, don't just shove it in your pocket. Take a peek. Your fortune might be riding in that handful of coins. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I've got loads more coming your way. Coins that are worth big bucks, collecting strategies that actually work, and real stories from people who cashed in on coins they almost threw away. Because at the end of the day, one man's penny is another man's treasure. Stay curious, keep collecting, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey there, coin hunters and couch collectors. What if I told you that one tiny copper penny sitting in your junk drawer could be worth $1.5 million? Yeah, you heard that right. One penny. 1 cent. Just a little guy from 1992 with AD mint mark. That's like buying a hot dog with a coin and getting a Lamborghini in change. Now, before you flip your couch cushions looking for treasure, hang tight because today we're diving deep into one of the most shocking and valuable pennies in American coin history. The 1992 D. Lincoln penny that's turning everyday folks into accidental millionaires. We're talking errors, secrets, copper clues, and a personal story about how I almost spent one of these bad boys on a vending machine. Snickers. Spoiler alert, I didn't get the Snickers. So grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's dig into this $1 million copper jackpot. Alright, first things first, what's the big deal with this 1992 D. Lincoln penny? Why is it worth more than most people's homes? And how can you tell if you've got the holy grail of pennies hiding in your spare change jar? Back in 1992, the U.S. Mint was doing its usual business. Pressing pennies, printing dimes, getting the year's coins out into circulation. But someone, somewhere, either had a rough morning or a wild night because a few pennies came out of the Denver Mint with a very special mistake, or in collector terms, a valuable anomaly. Now here's where things get spicy. The normal 1992 penny features bold, blocky lettering on the word America. Look at the back of your pennies. Between the letters A and M in America, there's supposed to be a little space, like a respectable social distance kind of gap. But in this rare error, the letters A and M are basically hugging. They're so close, it looks like they're trying to whisper sweet nothings to each other. This mistake is called a close AM variety. And here's the kicker, the close AM was meant for proof coins made in San Francisco, not business strike coins from Denver. So when you find a 1992 D penny with a close AM, you're holding a very rare bird. Or should I say, a very rare copper nugget that might just pay off your mortgage. Only a tiny number of these have ever been found. And when I say tiny, I mean we're talking fingers on one hand tiny. That's why collectors are willing to shell out big bucks for one. One specimen sold at auction for a whopping $1.5 million. Now don't run to the coin shop just yet. Let's go over how to spot one. This part's important. I don't want anyone selling a gem to some pawn shop for a couple bucks and then finding out later it could have bought them a yacht. It must have a D mint mark. That's the little letter under the date on the front, dot on the back, the letters A and M in the word. America should be almost touching. To really confirm it, use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. I'm serious. Your eyes might lie to you, especially after a couple cups of coffee or a late night of coin hunting. Trust me, I once confused a piece of lint for a mint mark. Not my proudest moment. I was cleaning out an old change jar from my dad's garage. He was the type who'd toss pennies in a jar like they were confetti. There were hundreds, maybe thousands. I'm flipping through them, mostly bored, but then I see it. 1992, D mint mark. Something looked off about the back, like those letters were a bit too close for comfort. I nearly dismissed it, but something told me to look twice. I grabbed a cheap little magnifier, took a closer look, and bam! Close AM. I wasn't entirely sure at first. I took it to a local coin shop. The guy looked at me like I just handed him a golden egg. He called over his buddy. Then another guy from the back came out. All three of them standing there, whispering like they were plotting a heist. Long story short, I didn't sell it right then and there. I sent it off to a grading service, and sure enough, it came back certified. One of the rarest Lincoln penny errors in existence, not yet. Let's just say it's sitting in a very secure location and I visit it like a proud father checking in on his genius kid. Coins like this are rare enough that when one pops up at auction, the numismatic world pays attention. The last confirmed 1992 D close AM Lincoln cent sold for over $1.5 million at auction. The demand is high and the supply is almost non-existent. It's the classic tale of rarity meets obsession. Collectors drool over these coins. It's not just about the money. It's about owning a piece of minting mystery. A coin that was never supposed to exist. The forbidden fruit of the penny world. If you're checking your coins now, good. That's what I want. And don't stop there. Check your kids' piggy banks. Check your grandma's coffee can of change. Heck, dig through your car's cup holders. I once found a 1969 double die penny in a Taco Bell drive-thru tray. True story. Didn't get the tacos, but I walked away richer. Get yourself a copy of a coin price guide or download a reputable coin app. And if you think you've found something valuable, don't post it on social media first. Get it verified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Otherwise, you might attract the kind of attention you don't want, like that one cousin who suddenly wants to visit for dinner. Normally worth 1 cent could be your golden ticket. If it's got the close AM reverse, you're not just looking at a rare coin. You're looking at a coin that collectors dream about. A coin that can pay off debt, buy property, or fund your retirement while still fitting in the palm of your hand. This treasure isn't buried. It's not locked away in a vault. It could be in your pocket right now, rattling around with gum wrappers and paper clips. So start checking. Dig through that change. Flip those pennies. Because one of them might just flip your entire life around. If you enjoyed this video and want more insider tips, coin strategies, and maybe even a few stories about how I once traded a wheat penny for a ride home, hit that subscribe button. Tap the bell so you don't miss the next $1 million coin we uncover. And hey, share this with someone who thinks pennies are just useless pocket fillers. Let's prove them wrong. 80 no mint mark pennies worth a king's ransom is the errors, the die varieties, the anomalies, all the nerdy little things that make coin collectors foam at the mouth. We're talking about off-center strikes, double dies, planchet errors, and more. And when those things happen together on a coin in pristine condition, that's when you've got something that can hit $1 million+ at auction. Like our lucky star, the 1980 no-mint mark penny valued at 1.6 million bucks. That bad boy had the perfect cocktail of rarity and condition, and yes, that figure is real. One sold at auction recently for over $1.6 million. That's not a typo. That's a house, a couple of classic cars, and a lifetime supply of pizza. Let's break down the elements that gave this penny its golden ticket. First off, mint state condition. This coin was found in MS 68 grade, which means it basically looked like it had never been touched by human hands. Imagine that it survived over 40 years and still looked showroom fresh. No scratches, no fingerprints, no gum stuck to it. Second, a rare die error. This particular penny had a dramatic double die obverse, meaning Lincoln's face, the lettering, and even the date had a visible doubling effect. If you squinted at it too long, it looked like your vision was going fuzzy. That kind of doubling doesn't happen often, and collectors love that stuff like cats love cardboard boxes. Third, strong collector demand. The Lincoln Cent series has one of the biggest fan bases in the coin world. People love Abe. People love pennies. Combine that with a one-of-a-kind coin, and suddenly you've got bidding wars that would make a Vegas poker table look tame. Now let me tell you about the time I almost spent a valuable penny without realizing it. This was probably 10 years ago. I was at a gas station craving a snack. I walked in, grabbed a pack of gum, and tossed some coins on the counter. The cashier picked them up, gave one of the pennies a weird look, and said, "Hey, this one looks kind of off." Being the penny-loving nerd that I am, I snatched it back like she just tried to take my lottery ticket. I looked at it closer and saw that it had a very odd rim and the lettering looked a bit squashed. I took it home, did some research, and guess what? It turned out to be a 1992 close AM penny worth about 20 grand in good condition. Always look at your change, because that 1-second glance could literally change your life. Or at least buy you a better snack. Start with the date. Make sure it's 1980. No mint mark is normal for Philly coins, but it's still worth checking because we're hunting errors. Check for weak strikes or off-center designs. Then grab a magnifying glass and check Lincoln's face, the lettering, and especially the date. Any signs of doubling? That's a good sign. You might have a double die, and don't forget about condition. If your coin has been through the washing machine 3 times and has gum residue on it, it's probably not the $1 million kind. But if it's crisp and shiny like it just rolled out of a vending machine, you might be in business. Also, look for coins that are a little too light or too heavy. That could mean they were struck on the wrong type of metal planchet. Weird weight equals possibly valuable mistake. If you find something that even looks strange, set it aside. Worst case scenario, you wasted a few minutes. Best case? You're the next millionaire who got rich from their laundry money. So let's say you're checking your coin jar tonight, and boom, there it is. A 1980 no-mint mark penny with some funky doubling and fresh condition. What now? First, don't clean it. Seriously. Cleaning coins is like giving a haircut to a cat, it never ends well. Next, get it professionally graded. Companies like PCGS and NGC can give it an official grade and certify any errors. Yes, it costs a little money, but it's like buying a lotto ticket that already has the winning numbers scratched off. Once it's graded, you can either auction it off, sell it through a dealer, or hang on to it and brag about it at every family barbecue for the rest of your life. So next time someone tells you that pennies aren't worth anything, just smile and check your change. Because that boring old 1980 penny sitting in your junk drawer might just be your ticket to a whole new life. And trust me, once you find your first valuable coin, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. It's like metal detecting without all the digging and sunburn. If you had fun today, learned something new, or just love the idea of making big bucks from small coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got more coin tips, hidden treasure stories, and real-life strategies to help you become the coin king of your neighborhood. Thanks for hanging out with me, and remember, the next $1 million penny might be hiding in your change jar right now. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters and pocket change detectives. What if I told you that one lonely little penny from 1991, with no mint mark at all, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million today? Yeah, you heard that right. A single cent worth more than most homes. Forget Bitcoin, forget lottery tickets, we're talking copper-coated magic hiding in plain sight. Now I know what you're thinking. Come on. How can a penny be worth millions? Well, grab a snack, Put your feet up and get comfy because today we're diving deep into the wild and wonderful world of the 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. You'll learn why this coin is so valuable, how to spot one, and of course, I'll throw in a little personal story of my own. Just to keep things real. Let's crack open this piggy bank of knowledge and maybe, just maybe, you'll end up a millionaire by the end of this video. Or at least know which pennies to never spend again. Alright, first up, let's talk about the coin itself. The 1991 Lincoln penny was part of the regular US mint run. By all appearances, it's just your average, run-of-the-mill 1-cent coin. But here's the kicker. Most of them were made either in Denver with a little D mark under the date, or in Philadelphia, which, believe it or not, didn't use a mint mark on pennies at the time. So technically, all Philly minted pennies had no mint mark. But that's not what makes this 1991 no mint mark penny special. What sets this particular coin apart, the one worth $1.7 million, is a super rare mint error combined with a near-perfect condition. We're talking about a coin that has a striking anomaly, but also looks like it came fresh off the minting press yesterday, vacuum-sealed in time. The unicorn of pocket change. Let me break this down like your favorite grandpa explaining fishing stories. The rare 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has a striking error where the coin was mistakenly double-struck, or even struck on the wrong planchet. In some cases, coins like these were struck on dime blanks, or foreign coins blanks, creating a totally unique error that collectors go absolutely nuts over. We're talking full-on coin fever. Even if you have the same error, if your coin's been living in your junk drawer for 30 years rubbing elbows with bobby pins and rusty paper clips, it's probably not worth much. But one found in pristine condition with zero wear and a flawless surface, that's a different ballgame. That bad boy was graded MS68 red by professional graders. That's basically coin speak for, it looks better than brand new. This exact kind of coin is so rare that only one or two have been found in this elite condition with that precise error. And when rarity meets demand in the coin world, the price tag goes to the moon. Now you might be wondering, how do I know if I have one? Let me help you with a quick checklist. Grab your magnifying glass. Yes, the one you use when reading takeout menus now, and check the following. No mint mark under the date. It should be completely blank, no scratches, dings, or pocket lint residue. We're looking for showroom-level condition errors struck on different metal planchets, often way differently from normal pennies. Let me tell you about the time I almost chucked a $500 coin at a vending machine. It was 2008. I was moving, broke, and living off beef jerky and peanut butter crackers. I was scrounging for change under couch cushions for a soda. I remember picking up a shiny penny that looked a little off. The color was weird, kind of golden, and it felt lighter than usual. Years later, I was browsing a coin collector's forum and saw a post titled, "You might have spent a fortune on snacks." My stomach dropped. I remembered that odd-looking penny and realized it could have been a rare off-metal strike. I don't know if it was the exact one, but ever since then, I've been checking my change like I'm Indiana Jones looking for the Holy Grail, so take it from me. Don't ignore those weird pennies. You never know. Let's dig a little deeper into value and what makes this coin worth such a staggering amount. Most 1991 no-mint mark pennies are worth face value. But once you cross into mint state territory with an error, you're talking a jump to hundreds, thousands, and in the case of the one sold at auction, a full $1.7 million. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections are where these sales go down. And let me tell you, bidding wars on error coins are wilder than Black Friday TV sales. Rubbing it with toothpaste or giving it a bath in vinegar is a guaranteed way to kill its value. Coin collectors want coins in original condition, even if they're a little dirty. Use a soft flip or capsule to store the coin safely. Keep it away from moisture, heat, and wild raccoons. You never know. Send it to a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll examine it, grade it, and encapsulate it to preserve it. That little plastic slab? That's your ticket to big bucks if you're unsure. Show it to a local coin dealer or an expert. Just make sure they're reputable, not someone selling fake gold chains out of their car trunk. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909. That's longer than sliced bread. Even though it's worth just 1 cent, the penny costs more than a cent to make. Go figure. Some people actually hoard copper pennies from pre-1982 because the metal's worth more than the coin. But that's a story for another day. That 1991 no-mint mark penny in your junk drawer? It might just be a 7-figure surprise. Most aren't worth more than a cent, but if you stumble across that rare unicorn, pristine condition, unique error, you could be looking at life-changing money. And all because you paid attention to the tiniest coin in your pocket. I started coin hunting as a fun hobby, and now I treat it like a part-time job that pays in surprises. Some folks buy stocks. I sort through loose change. It's cheaper, more fun, and you don't need a Wall Street broker. Just good lighting and patience. If this video gave you some laughs, some knowledge, or even just the urge to check your couch cushions, then you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button like you just found $1 million penny in your pocket. Hit the bell so you don't miss out on the next coin that could change your life. And drop a comment below if you've ever found anything weird or wonderful in your spare change. Hey folks, stop what you're doing and check your pockets right now. Seriously. If you've got a 2017 penny jingling around in your cup holder, couch cushions, or even stuck under your car seat, you could be holding onto a tiny copper jackpot worth $1.8 million. Yeah, you heard that right. 1.8 million. For a penny. Now, I know what you're thinking. No way a modern penny is worth more than a couple of gum wrappers and a warm handshake. But today, we're diving into a 2017 P. Lincoln penny that defies all logic, breaks all the rules, and makes your change jar look like a potential treasure chest. So grab a cup of coffee, kick back in your recliner, and let's talk about how a 1-cent coin minted in 2017 could end up being worth more than your house. Maybe even more than your ex-wife's house too. In 2017, something pretty historic happened in the world of pennies. It was the very first year the Philadelphia Mint placed its P mint mark on the Lincoln cent. That's right. Before 2017, Philadelphia never stamped a P on their pennies. Quarters, nickels, dimes, sure. But not the penny. So when 2017 rolled around, it was to honor the Mint's 225th anniversary. A kind of birthday celebration where they gave the penny a little P hat and said, "Go on, kid, make history." One of these 2017 P pennies turned up with some crazy features that sent collectors into a frenzy. We're talking pristine condition, an insanely rare double die error, and a nearly flawless strike. It was found in a roll someone bought for $1. One of those lucky right place, right time moments. A grading company slapped it with a top-tier MS-70 rating. That means it's literally perfect. No scratches, no dings, no smudges from the greasy fingers of humanity. Just copper perfection. It sold in a private sale for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. That's right, $1.8 million. For a coin you could have pulled out of your change at the gas station when you bought a Snickers. Let me tell you, I've been collecting coins since I had more hair and fewer bills. And I've seen some wild stuff, but this 2017 P penny story? It's like hitting the lottery without buying a ticket. Now, let me get a little personal here. Back in 2017, I was going through one of those weeks. You know the kind. My lawnmower broke, the dog ate a pair of brand new shoes, and I dropped my phone in the toilet trying to grab a penny I saw near the base. Spoiler alert, it wasn't even a good one. But I had this habit back then. I'd always stop by the bank every Friday and grab a few rolls of coins. Just for fun. Like fishing, but with copper and zinc instead of worms and hooks. So there I was, sitting on the couch with my coin rolls, watching reruns of the Andy Griffith Show, popping open rolls one by one. I remember finding a couple of nice 2017 pennies and thinking, these are shiny. Tossed them in a jar and moved on. Fast forward to the next year. I hear about the $1 million 2017 P penny. I kid you not, I went full-blown FBI mode on that jar. Gloves on, magnifying glass in hand, sweating like I just ran a mile uphill in July. Turns out, I didn't have the penny. But I found one in pretty good condition and got it graded. Ended up being worth about $250. Not 1.8 million, but hey, not bad for a penny I almost used to scratch a lottery ticket. First time in history the P mint mark appeared on a penny. The $1 million version was a flawless MS-70 grade. That's museum-level perfection. Some rare versions have doubling on the date or lettering, which turns a common coin into a high-value collectible. Coin folks love a good story, and the 2017 P has it all: history, rarity, and a modern twist. Now I know some of y'all are itching to go dig through your jars, and I don't blame you. But before you do, let me give you a few tips for identifying a valuable 2017 P penny. Grab a magnifier and inspect Lincoln's profile and the lettering. Any signs of doubling? That's what we call a double die error, and that could be your ticket to the big bucks. The fewer scratches, the better. A shiny, uncirculated coin stands a better chance at being valuable. If you think you've got something special, don't guess. Send it to a professional grading service. They'll tell you if you're sitting on a treasure or just a lucky penny, and if you're like me and you enjoy the hunt, keep digging. Coin collecting isn't just about the money. It's the stories, the surprises, and the thrill of turning pocket change into payday. So there you have it, friends. One little copper coin, a simple 2017 penny with a P mint mark, turned a lucky collector into a millionaire. And who knows? The next one might be hiding in your glove box, your junk drawer, or behind the couch cushion you've been avoiding since 2003. If you found this video helpful or even a little entertaining, hit that subscribe button. I've got more tips, tricks, and coin hunting strategies coming your way. From million-dollar quarters to rare wheat pennies, I'll help you sort the trash from the treasure. Smash that like button, share this with your coin-loving buddy, and drop a comment if you think you've got a hidden gem in your collection. I want to hear your stories, even if your dog ate your rare penny like mine tried to. Hey there, fellow coin hunters and treasure seekers. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your spare change? No, not just scooped it into your car's cup holder or dropped it into that dusty old piggy bank. I mean really looked. Because hiding in plain sight among all those regular pennies, nickels, and quarters, there might be something worth a small fortune. Actually, scratch that. A big fortune. Like $1.9 million big. We're diving into a simple little coin that most folks wouldn't even glance at twice. The 1991 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. It looks ordinary, feels ordinary, but this one is anything but ordinary. So hang on tight, because this little guy might just change your life or at least pay off your mortgage. And stick with me, because later I'll tell you the real story of how I nearly tossed one of these bad boys into a vending machine for a pack of peanut M&Ms. Yeah, that happened. All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The 1991 Lincoln penny is part of the Memorial Cent series. It features good old Honest Abe on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Standard fare, right? Nothing fancy. It was struck mostly in Philadelphia, but here's the kicker: Philadelphia coins usually don't have a mint mark. So if you find a 1991 penny with no mint mark, you might think, it's just another penny. But here's where it gets wild. Not all no mint mark 1991 pennies are created equal. Some of them, due to extremely rare minting errors or very specific striking conditions, have become insanely valuable. Like that one specific coin that sold for $1.9 million. Yup, one single penny. You might be wondering, how does a penny even get to that value? I mean, it's a cent. 1 cent. What gives? It all boils down to rarity and demand. The high dollar 1991 no mint mark penny was a perfect storm. It had a striking error, was in near pristine condition. I'm talking full red luster, uncirculated, almost like it just rolled off the mint conveyor belt and skipped 30 years of pockets and purses. Combine that with collector demand and boom. Bidding wars happen, prices skyrocket, and someone ends up with $1 million smile. Now let's talk about how you can tell if your 1991 penny might be worth something. Because while not all are $1 million babies, some can still fetch hundreds or thousands, strong strike and full detail. If Abe looks like he had a rough night, maybe not the full red color. This is grading lingo, but if it's shiny and bright and not brown or dull, you might be in business, minting errors. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, die cracks, or other weird features. Sometimes the mint messes up in a way that makes collectors go wild. Now I promised you a story. So here's the moment I almost threw away a fortune. A few years ago, I was cleaning out the glove box of my old Toyota Camry. Found a handful of sticky pennies clinging together with what I hope was melted gum. Decided to toss them into the vending machine at work. Right before I shoved one into the coin slot, I noticed something odd about the date: 1991, no mint mark, super sharp detail. Looked brand new. My gut said hold up. So I took it home, cleaned it carefully, and yeah, I know you're not supposed to clean coins, but this thing had jelly on it, I had no choice. I popped it under a magnifier, did a little research, and boom. Turns out it wasn't the $1,000,000 one, but it was still valued at close to $2,000. Also, keep your coins away from vending machines. Let's talk numbers. Right now, a verified 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny in top-notch condition is valued at about $1.9 million. That's the top-tier coin, graded MS68 or better, with an extremely rare error or a minting anomaly that makes it stand out. If you find one like that, you're sitting on a gold mine. Even if you find a coin that's not the top one, lower-grade examples can still pull in between $500 to $5,000 depending on the error and condition. That's not bad for something you pulled out of your couch cushions, and if you're thinking of cashing in, be smart. Don't just slap it on eBay. Get it graded. A reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC can officially evaluate and certify your coin, which can massively increase its value. So here's the takeaway. The next time someone says pennies are worthless, you look them square in the eye and say, not if it's a 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. That little copper coin could pay off your student loans, buy you a brand new truck, or finally get you that fancy backyard smoker you've been eyeing. And listen, coin hunting isn't just a hobby. It's a thrill. A real-life treasure hunt. You don't need a metal detector or a pirate map, just a sharp eye and a little patience. So if you enjoyed hanging out, learning a little coin history, and hearing how I almost blew $2,000 on a candy bar, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button. Tap the bell so you don't miss the next tip. I've got more stories, more valuable coins, and more ways for you to turn pocket change into serious cash. Hey there, fellow coin collectors. So, imagine this. You're sifting through a box of loose change, not really expecting to find anything special. But then, bam, you come across a coin that looks a little different, and upon closer inspection, it's a 1967 Abraham Lincoln penny. You might think, just another old penny, right? But hold on a second. What if I told you that this penny, this little copper disc, could be worth $1 million? Yeah, I'm talking about the elusive, rare, and seriously valuable 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. I'm about to dive into why this coin is worth a fortune, how you can spot it, and why you should pay attention to the pennies you've probably tossed in your pocket change. Stay tuned, and let's get this penny adventure started. Alright, let's first set the stage here. The 1967 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of those coins that's so rare, it's almost like the holy grail of penny collecting. When people hear penny, they typically think, oh, it's just a cent. No big deal. But, as we all know, sometimes the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight. First things first, you might be asking, why is this penny worth $1 million? It looks like any other penny. Well, here's where the story gets interesting. Back in 1967, the U.S. Mint was experiencing some issues with production. Normally, pennies made in Philadelphia would have the mint mark P stamped on them, indicating they were made in the Philadelphia Mint. But in 1967, for reasons that remain a bit of a mystery, the Mint didn't stamp a mint mark on some of these coins. So, the 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies became extremely rare. It's estimated that only a small batch of these no-mint Mark pennies ever made it out of the mint. If you happen to find one in decent condition, you could be holding a coin that's worth a whopping $1 million. That's right. This humble penny could be sitting on a treasure trove of value. How to spot a 1967 no-mint Mark penny now? You're probably thinking, okay, sounds great. But how do I find one of these bad boys? Well, let me tell you, it's all about knowing what to look for. The key thing is that you need to check the mint mark area. Normally, you'll see a small P right under Abraham Lincoln's shoulder on the front of the penny, but in this case, the coin has no mint mark at all. Take a moment to check your 1967 pennies. You'll be looking at the obverse, that's the front, where Honest Abe is front and center. And if there's no P underneath his shoulder, then you've found something special. But don't start counting your millions just yet. There's still more to know. Here's the thing. Just because you find a 1967 no-mint mark penny doesn't mean you're automatically a millionaire. The condition of the coin is super important. A penny that's been hanging out in your pocket for decades, scratched up and worn down, won't fetch nearly as much as one that's been preserved in great condition. The more pristine it is, the higher the value. Check your pennies carefully. Don't just toss them aside because they're dirty or scratched. Look for any signs of wear and tear that might lower the coin's value. If you've got a mint condition one, then you could be sitting on a gold mine. A quick side story, relatable moment. Speaking of finding rare coins, let me tell you about the time I found my first rare coin. It was a few years ago, and I was going through a box of old coins my uncle had handed down to me. I was honestly just looking for some cool pieces to add to my collection, but I didn't expect to find anything too valuable. I pulled out a 1943 steel penny, thinking, cool, another old coin. But then I looked at it more closely. There was something off about it. It wasn't magnetic. Steel pennies were supposed to be magnetic. My heart skipped a beat as I realized I was holding an incredibly rare copper 1943 penny. I had no idea at the time, but that little mistake in production could have been worth hundreds of thousands of dollars if it were in pristine condition. Sadly, mine wasn't in perfect shape, but I'll never forget the excitement of thinking I had found a treasure. It just goes to show that sometimes, the most valuable coins are the ones you least expect. It's kind of like finding that hidden gem in your old coin jar, just like that 1967 no-mint mark penny. The value of the 1967 no-mint mark penny. Okay, now let's talk numbers. If you're lucky enough to find a 1967 no-mint mark penny in decent condition, you could expect it to fetch anywhere from $100,000 to $1 million, depending on the rarity and the condition. It's a coin that's caught the eye of collectors all over the world, and its rarity has driven the value to insane levels. First, the rarity of the coin itself, and second, its condition. The better the condition, the higher the price. Coins in mint state can easily hit that $1 million mark, while ones in lower grades will still be valuable but not quite as much. That 1967 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be the most valuable coin hiding in your pocket change right now. Remember to check for that missing P under Abe's shoulder. If you find it, you could be looking at a major payday. Now, before you run off to your coin jar, I've got to ask, did you learn something today? If so, hit that subscribe button, because I've got tons more tips, tricks, and strategies to help you find coins that are worth a fortune. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector, we're all in this together, trying to find those hidden treasures in the world of coin collecting. If you found any cool coins recently, drop a comment below and let me know. Who knows? Maybe you've got a few $1 million pennies lying around, just waiting to be discovered. Hey there, coin enthusiasts. Have you ever thought that the pennies in your pocket could be worth more than just pocket change? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into a coin that might just be sitting in your jar of loose change. The 1995 D-Mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And guess what? This penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. No, I'm not kidding. You could be sitting on a literal gold mine without even knowing it. But first, let me hit you with a little story. I remember the first time I stumbled upon a penny worth a fortune. I was rummaging through a box of old coins my grandfather left me and thought, why not check the pennies? I found one, and after doing a bit of research, I realized it was worth way more than I ever expected. It was the rush of a lifetime, honestly. So, stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be eyeing your pocket change a little differently. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you don't miss any of our deep dives into coins worth big bucks. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. Alright, let's get into it. The 1995 D. Lincoln penny might seem like a typical, run-of-the-mill coin at first glance, but it's got something special about it. For the uninitiated, you might look at a 1995 D penny and think, what's so special about this one? Well, that little D mint mark could be the key to unlocking a small fortune. First, let's talk about the history behind this coin. The 1995 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the D Mint mark. Back in 1995, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, but a small number of them were struck with a specific flaw that made them stand out. This flaw is actually a result of a die that wasn't properly aligned during the minting process, giving these pennies a slight double die effect. You know, a little extra oomph that makes all the difference when it comes to rarity. Now, you might be wondering, okay, so what's the big deal? Well, here's where things get interesting. Because of that die error, a certain batch of 1995 D pennies became incredibly rare, making them highly sought after by collectors. And as any coin collector will tell you, rarity is king. If you've got one of these rare 1995 D pennies with the double die error, you're sitting on a potential gold mine. Let me break it down for you in a way that's easy to understand. Coin value isn't just about the year or the mint mark. It's about the condition and the rarity. In this case, the double die error makes the coin extremely valuable. The market value of these coins has been known to reach up to $1.1 million for the right one in perfect condition. We're talking about a coin worth more than the house you live in. Insane, right? But before you start getting too excited and running to check your penny jar, here's a little reality check. Not every 1995 D penny is worth $1.1 million. The condition matters. If your coin has a lot of wear and tear, you're probably looking at a much lower price tag. But if you've got one that's in near perfect condition with that double die error, you could be looking at a massive payday. Great question. Let's dive into the details. You're going to want to inspect your coin closely. The most obvious way to spot a double die error is by looking at the date and the lettering on the coin. If you notice any kind of double vision happening in the 1995 or the Liberty on the front of the coin, you might have a winner. Finding these coins isn't exactly easy. Sure, there are some floating around in circulation, but they're not exactly hanging out in every spare change you get. Coin collectors and enthusiasts have spent years scouring through rolls of pennies, looking for these elusive treasures. So, if you happen to find one, congratulations, you've struck gold. But, of course, the adventure doesn't stop there. Once you've found a potential gem, you need to authenticate it. If you think you've got a 1995 D double die penny, it's time to take it to an expert or a coin dealer who can verify whether it's the real deal. And trust me, you want to get it graded because that can really impact its value. Coins that are in better condition with clear markings and little wear fetch a much higher price. Now, I've got to tell you a funny story about my own coin hunting experience. A few months ago, I was at a garage sale, one of those Saturday mornings where I was just casually browsing through random junk. You know the drill, looking for old tools, records, and maybe a nice piece of furniture. But as I was flipping through a box of coins, I found this old tin can full of pennies at first. I thought, just a bunch of modern pennies. Nothing too exciting here. But something told me to take a closer look. I was poking through them when I found one. Just one 1995 D penny. It wasn't in perfect condition, but I could see that there was a little something off with the 1995 on it. I figured, why not give it a shot and see what an expert has to say. Long story short, it wasn't worth a fortune, but it was still a great find. That small thrill of discovering something potentially valuable, even if it wasn't the jackpot, made me realize how much fun coin collecting can be. And trust me, once you get the bug, you won't stop looking through your change. If you've got a 1995 D penny in your collection, it could very well be worth $1.1 million if it has the double die error and is in great condition. But don't get too carried away just yet. Take your time, inspect your coins, and maybe even make it a hobby to search for those rare gems. Who knows, you might just find your own fortune in a jar of pennies. Before we wrap up, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You never know what treasures are hiding in your pockets, and we're here to help you spot them. I've got tons more tips and stories to share, so make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, and join the coin hunting community.